Welcome back. It's Father's Day, so the boys are taking a breather from all the heavy lifting that they do in the kitchen for us, the four little peppers.
Oh, my goodness. So in honour, this is proper comedy, of all the dads today, we're making a lamb burger that can be made on every father's favourite cooking implement. Apologies. The barbecue. Yes. OK. All the lads do love barbecues, don't they?
Yeah.
And the taste of barbecued food, Tara, is delicious,
it's so good.
isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, look, we're working on a griddle pan today, but it is a lovely dish to do in the barbecue. And I suppose just something a little bit different. I find people are always asking me for new ideas. I do a lot of barbecue classes, you know. So it's just something a little bit different. And it's also, lamb mince tends to be a little bit leaner as well. So probably a little bit less fatty than other cuts of meat. So I have my lamb mince here, and my butcher just minced it for me. It's actually a little bit of shoulder and a little bit of neck and a little bit of leg all mixed together.
Okay.
So good
was that
flavour
his
from it.
suggestion or yours?
No, it was just what he did, because in fact I was actually getting a butterflied leg of lamb for another. I'm actually doing a barbecue demonstration today in Telltown House. Actually, I'll just give it a little mention if you don't mind. It's near Kells and Navan, and it's a lovely, anyone can come, bring a little bottle of something, lots of nibbles and everything. But anyway, I was getting a butterflied leg of lamb, so he actually used part of the bit that's not as nice at the end, but it's perfect for mincing. So it's great, but you can buy it in supermarkets as well, you know. So in here, I've just put some fresh flat leaf parsley, a little bit of oregano, some egg, just a little bit of egg to bind it. I have some red onion here, some feta cheese. So this is lovely, it bulks it out. So we've all, like, look, a cheeseburger, everybody knows a cheeseburger, you know, so this is just kind of a little variation on the theme. And then I have some nice ground cumin here as well. And some garlic.
It is, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it's really, really tasty. A little bit of garlic and then I'm just going to put them together with some gloves on me. And yeah, I mean, I think it's actually something I used to make a long time ago, and I kind of nearly forgot about them. And I was doing some new barbecue classes recently, and I put them on and I thought, oh, they're really just tasty and so simple, really, you know.
Different to the usual reaching for the chicken or the
the
stuff.
Yeah. Beef.
And of course, if we don't have the weather to be actually cooking on the barbecue today, Tara, that's fine. You could
absolutely onto the griddle pan like we're doing here, or just even a normal pan.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can see this on camera, but even all the lovely colours in here, it's that kind of Middle Eastern influence on it. So I'm just going to shape them into little patties there. And I don't really kind of squish down on the burger too much, you know, because it kind of makes the burger a little bit, just loses its tenderness a little bit and its texture. So just loosely shape it like this.
Okay.
And I have some on already, because they do take a few minutes to cook. So I'll just pop this one on. One important detail. When you pop your burger on, you want to hear a sizzle. So whether it's on the barbecue or whether it's on your pan, make sure, I'll give you a little tip actually, that you can only keep your hand over the surface of your pan, about an inch from your pan, for a split second. Otherwise, it's not hot enough, basically. And what can happen then is it can dry out.
So, and do you have oil on that pan when you pop them on?
I'm actually putting oil onto the burgers. I have oil on this pan already because I'm cooking some already. Now we'll just put it down here away from the cooked one. But I would say if you oil the burger rather than the pan, it's better, because otherwise you get smoky kind of all over the pan.
But when it's hot enough, Tara, it seals it almost instantly as well,
so you can see on this pan, the ones I just put on there a few minutes ago, there are no juices flowing out, and that's because it has really seared in all that juice is staying in there. Yeah, exactly.
Lovely.
So just to go with it, I have a few little bits. I'm going to make a nice little cucumber raita. So instead of your ketchup on a cheeseburger, we're going to go with this. So this is a nice little sort of refreshing flavour. So I have a little bit of garlic going into some natural or Greek yoghurt, whichever you have. And a little bit of lemon zest.
It's actually very straightforward, isn't it, the whole thing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, so far, anyway. Maybe I'm speaking too soon.
No, it is. This is nearly it now. And it's actually lovely and light, particularly if it's a nice warm day. I think it's really kind of refreshing as well. I have some mint from my garden here, so I'm just going to tear that in. And that just freshens it up a little
lovely,
bit.
aren't they?
Love mint.
Yeah.
Mint and lemon.
I have to say, I love Middle Eastern food in general. You know, there's a little bit of spice to it, but it's not really heavy spice. And it's quite refreshing and tasty as well. So a little bit of cucumber, and that's my little raita ready.
That's it.
And then I've got some pita breads here that I just warmed gently in the oven.
Okay.
And I actually love using wholemeal pita breads for this rather than just white, because I think the nuttiness is quite nice, a little bit of nutty texture in there.
I think those pita breads are so handy for lunchboxes
Yes.
as well, aren't they? Just to change it up from normal sandwiches,
And of
Tara,
course, can I ask you just about the pan, because I've made lamb burgers before, and my issue is I put them on the medium heat, they take forever to make. I put them on the high heat, and I burn the outside, and the inside's still too pink.
Yeah, so what I did there was I started them on quite a high heat, but I reduced the heat down then just while the ad break was on there, so that they don't burn. But what you could do, nice little tip, is just pop them into the oven. So once you've seared them off, if you're a bit worried about that, have your oven about 180, 200 degrees, and pop the burgers in there on a little oven-proof tray, and then you know they're going to cook through. Yeah. Another tip on the barbecue actually would be to pop a skewer through them.
Okay.
And then you have the heat. If it's a metal skewer, the skewer will actually conduct the heat from the centre. Yeah. So I've got some nice organic rocket leaves here. We're going to pop those into the burger or into the pita bread, and just.
Should we build the two lads' bread then?
Oh yeah, especially because Aidan has a gentleman's family of a male cat and a
boy and a
female
girl
cat.
Yes. He's never going to live
I thought
this
that
down,
was a good one. And pop my raita on top.
It's kind of a healthy cheeseburger, really,
Absolutely,
isn't
it is, yeah. And a little bit of extra flavour going on with it as well.
Yeah.
What other flavours would be nice instead of the raita? Would mustard work well?
Mustard is nice, yeah. A little bit of harissa yogurt would be nice. You know, the harissa paste? Yeah. So here we go.
Gorgeous.
Pop that on.
Hungry, guys?
And get the lid on. There we go. So there's one.
There's one.
Great.
Ready to taste for whoever's going first.
We send it down?
Maybe the man with the human children should go first. No.
You're the guy that actually has human children.
You can go first.
Smells divine.
So how long on the hob, on the pan?
5 to 10 minutes. I suppose it depends on how sort of thick you make them. I make them relatively small because, you know, I knew we didn't have loads of time today. Sometimes I make them a little bit bigger and I give them a little bit longer. I suppose the best thing to do is just check at the centre. It's also like how well done you like them, you know?
Yeah. There's a tendency to squash them down tightly, though, isn't there?
That as well?
Yes, exactly. And then they don't cook properly.
Yeah, but they're easier, I feel, just certainly for little ones as well.
Tidier, yeah,
tidier.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a good tip to leave it a little bit fluffier.
Exactly, yeah. And it kind of just helps it to stay just juicier, really, as well, you know? So let's get this
and
one
also
on.
they have the homemade look about them.
Exactly.
Like,
a bit more authentic.
Yeah. So,
Deconstructed, is that what they call it when things fall apart on you?
Yeah. Way ahead of our time, accidentally.
Exactly.
This is a really nice alternative to the usual burgers.
yeah, I think so. I think it is, you know. So let's get that too.
Okay, do you want to pop it on the tray there?
Yeah, or here, look, we have this.
There you go.
Oh,
There we
now we're
go.
deconstructing.
Now,
Right, shall I serve up
Don't
Ainsley?
say we
Anna,
don't
thank you.
Don't say we don't look after you, lads.
Don't forget
very
today's
much.
full recipe is on our
Thank you.
website as well.
I need a shower
Why?
because the right has gone all over me.
You need a shower.
We don't have any.
you'd like
Do we have any
sloppy.
kitchen roll or tissues?
do.
Oh, we'll find something.
Well,
We'll find
fine.
something.
There's a blanket behind you, the one you use for hide and seek.
Well,
Tara, is that in the book?
Is this enough, Simon?
that should be all right.
We might pass that along.
You'll need it
It's a bit
too.
messy, is it?
If you wanted to make an accompanying sort of carb piece, potato fries,
What
wedges.
I actually love doing is bulgur wheat. I've done it before on the show, tabbouleh made from bulgur wheat. So boil up your bulgur wheat in some stock, let it steam for a few minutes, and then pop loads of herbs and olive oil and a little bit of lemon juice through it, and it's delicious,
Lovely accompaniment to it. Yeah, Tara,
Gorgeous.
thank you so much.
You're
We
most
look forward
welcome,
to it.
Thank you, Tara.
Maybe we can have a
Smells
bite,
great.
lads. Could we?
Not going to happen.
So it's going to disappear.
Don't worry, this is ready in a second.
Tara, for remembering the girls.
Beneath
Don't
though.
forget, today's full recipe is on our website. You can find out more of Tara's treats in her book, Good Food, No Stress. Thank you very
Thanks,
much,
Tara.
Tara. Looking forward to that.
Now, after the break, school's out. We'll tell you how you can help your little ones stay happy and active for the long summer months. See you in a few.